Hello my friends, here's a little video update from the Liberty Garden, and we're looking at the potato patch. And well, it's just going crazy. It's starting to bloom already. The potatoes that I planted on the raised bed, which is the ones that you're looking straight at right now, you can't even see the raised bed anymore, are phenomenal. The ones that I planted on the container, they're doing better, but you can see that the ones that are in the raised bed are doing much better. My guess is that they have more space to grow roots, deeper soil, all that. So from this, I'm drawing the conclusion that potatoes in containers, while they're good, I think they do a lot better in the ground or in a big raised bed like where they're in right now. Right now, so far, they look very pest free, knock on wood. Hopefully I don't jinx it. I'm gonna give you a little brief tour of the rest of the garden. It's coming out nicely. Here I have some tomatoes. I think these are mine. I did buy some tomatoes, and some I started from seed. I think these here are mine. Some of them are, at least. I have more tomatoes here, so that's why this bed looks a little bit empty, because I have some tomato plants and they do take up some space, so I have them separated a little bit. Here I have another little tomato growing right there, and it's a little pepper plant. That one I did buy, and I got some mustards here, mustard greens. So that's that. And I got these two tomato plants that I have here. These I did buy, so they're doing okay. And I got a little beet plant growing there with some little flowering plants that are coming out. Now the keyhole garden, well, this thing just took a life of its own here. I am past the point of worrying about cabbage flies or any other pest. I mean, this thing has just grown so vigorously that there are more cabbage flies fluttering around here in my garden every day, and yet they don't even make a dent on it. This is the little garden salad patch that I planted in conjunction with the experiment that I did planting it in containers. Of course, the containers failed for me, and I'm not going to try that again. I don't have the patience for it. But the little patch is doing okay, and I'm just harvesting from here daily. You can see where I've been cutting some leaves from the collard greens. There's some cabbages. This is the zucchinis, I think. And all these kales are going to seed, so I'll be harvesting some seeds from these little pods. So I just leave them there because the flowers attract a lot of bees and predatory insects like hornets and stuff like that. The basket, I've been filling it up with leaves and compost and kitchen waste, so it's doing great. Let's see, let me go around here. Look at all this. This thing is just crazy. This is high density planting in here. Have everything in here. I have kale, Swiss chard, collard greens, and at the beginning I was having some problems with pests like the cabbage fly and the aphids. All that is a thing of the past. I mean, the plants are producing so abundantly that even though there's a lot of those pests still here, they don't seem to be affected much. Last night, a couple nights ago, when it was raining, I came out here, or right after it rained, and I saw so many slugs and snails. And I thought for a minute that they were going to be decimating my garden, but I guess not, So there's also a lot of mockingbirds that come here, and I'm sure they're eating some of that. So it's achieving somewhat of a natural balance without any pesticides or any need for fertilization or anything like that. Here's the little experiment that I engaged in a couple of weeks ago. Here's the Three Sisters garden. The corn started to sprout. Not all of them, but like this one here. Here's barely coming out right there. But most of the corn has sprouted. Here's a few more. So I will be waiting for another week, and then I'll plant the beans. And any spots where the corn did not sprout, like in this one here, I will replant. But a lot of them, most of it already came out. and I'll be thinning them out whenever they get a little bit bigger. So I'm pretty pleased with the corn coming out already. We've had some wonderful days this spring. My God, it's incredible. So much rain and just real nice sunny days in between. So just everything just germinates. This pear tree is starting to get some really nice pears going. Look at this. This pear tree has only been in the ground for about one season, and it's already producing. Very nice little pear tree. I don't know what happened here. Look at this. This is, I've not seen this. Some kind of pest got this here. Take this off here. It's no good. Here's the compost. These leaves here, I mulched, and you can see the difference compared to these ones that I did not mulch with the lawnmower. So these just look like a bunch of dry leaves, which I need to take out and decompose and break down with the lawnmower. But this ones here, I did mow down with the lawnmower, so they look a lot more decomposed. So you do accelerate the process a lot by breaking down your leaves with the lawnmower. And all this soil here, well, I realized that I have very good soil here. This is where I break down my leaves, but if I dig in here, I have very good soil for planting anything. If I wanted to get some soil for a pot or something, this is really good soil. So I'm seeing a lot of warm activity now. Moving on, I got some the patty squash is here. Right there, they're looking a little anemic. Maybe they have a little too much shade on them or something. I don't know. This tomato plant's also looking real anemic. I take off those bad leaves here. So let's see what else we have here. And here's my cherry tree, my apple tree. They flowered, but nothing. They said no fruit. So here's the apricot. It's just set a bunch of fruit. It has a lot of fruit setting. This also has been here for only a year or so. I planted it last year, so it's doing very well. And this raised bed here, I forgot to show you this one. Well, that one just goes without saying. Look at the Swiss chard. It's just amazing. Look at that. And like I said, I let everything go to seed. All those kales are just going to seed, and because I get my seeds from there. Let me give you a look at my onions. There's my onions right there. All these are onions and carrots, and they're getting shaded by the potatoes. So we'll see how that works out in the end. You know, I don't know. I'm just gonna let it be. And here's another little tomato plant that I planted. This one of my own. Here's some garlics. They're growing nicely. And I have here by the wall my rosemaries, my thymes, lavenders, and sage. And that's it. I mean, I think there's a little, it looks like a little beet right there. This bed here, it is doing okay. It's not doing that great. I attribute it mostly because it's shaded. So a lot of this part is shaded here by these two trees, these two peach trees, or apricot and peach. But it's okay, you know. It's also a newer bed. It's my last bed, so they take time to establish. And but this one's doing okay. And lastly, my containers. Here they are. I'm growing some peppers down there, and my lemon trees right there is growing. Hopefully it can set some fruit. Here's a eggplant and a tomato plant. The cactus is barely, this little lazy bum is barely putting out something here, so it endured very, very cold winter, so that's something. And here's some kale, a little bird pepper, and I got a bunch of this apple tree. Little apple tree, looks like it's setting some fruits finally, because I did threaten him with putting the axe to him if he didn't put any fruit this year. So it's setting some fruits, not as much as I would like to, but oh well, it's something, you know. And here is a lot of containers, some herbs like oregano, basil, mint, just little containers that I have there. And lastly, here's the persimmons tree. I really like this tree. It looks like it's going to set a lot of fruits, and this one I just planted last year, so it looks like it's going to start flowering. There's a little flower right there. and it looks like it's going to set some fruit. So that's about it, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'll give you an update in maybe in about 1 or 2 more weeks. But it's doing nicely. We've had a lot of rain this year, so that's nice. Thanks for watching, and until next time. I forgot to mention something. This is a little experiment that I've been working on for a couple of years now. It's a vermicompost bin. I never really got around to buying the actual wigglers, and before I had time to get the wigglers, the black soldier fly moved in and established itself in there. And I basically dump all my kitchen waste into here. And as you can see, I don't want to get my hands all dirty, but as you can see here, let me get this little rake in here. There's a lot of soil that's been formed in here. Look at this. That's just, all this is just, I want to say is warm poop or something. I don't know what it is. All this was basically stuff that I dumped in here, kitchen waste. You can see some eggshells and stuff like that there. And I do put in some leaves just to help with the decomposition process, adding carbons to it. But I plan to put some wigglers in here. Every time I find a wiggler in the garden, I just dump it in here, throw them in here. And it's a two bin system basically. So here's one bin, the other one here. This bin has some holes, as you can see right here, for aeration. It's got holes around it, and on the bottom it's got holes that drain into this bottom bin here. And that bottom bin is I capture all the worm poop, I guess, or all the worm poop and just anything that drains down here. I capture it here, and apparently that's supposed to be real good for your plants. It's a good fertilizer. So what I do, I just remove this top one and then get the liquid from down here, and I mix it with water and put it on my plants directly. And it's supposed to have a lot of high nitrogen and I don't know what else really. I don't understand this very well, but it seems to work. I mean, there's a lot of good soil creation going on here. Like this is all good soil here, and there's a lot of insect activity, roly-polies and little flies and all kinds of things are in here. So I keep it covered so it doesn't get all flooded with rain. And that's my worm bin, or black soldier bin. I don't know what to call it anymore. I do want to get some worms and put them in here and maybe help with the decomposition of the food that goes in here. But basically, this is one recycling system that I have in one of several recycling systems that I have in my backyard. The other one being the keyhole garden, where I dump a lot of stuff there. And of course the other one being my dog, who eats all the scraps my little kids leave behind, and myself. So anyway, folks, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.